Please like the video and share it so that it reaches many more people and you get sawaba, or rewards from Allah. This could be a sawabe jariyah or continuous reward for you long after you are gone.
Volume 6, Book 60, number 193. Narrated by Umar bin al-Khattab. When Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul died, Allah's apostle was called in order to offer the funeral prayer for him. When Allah's apostle got up to offer the prayer, I jumped towards him and said, "O Allah's apostle, do you offer the prayer for Ibn Ubay, although he said so and so on such and such a day?" I went on mentioning his sayings. Allah's apostle smiled and said, "Keep away from me, O Umar." But when I spoke too much to him, he said, "I have been given the choice, and I have chosen this. And if I knew that if I asked forgiveness for him more than 70 times, he would be forgiven, I would ask it for more times than that." So Allah's apostle offered the funeral prayer for him and then left. But he did not stay long before the 2 verses of Surah Bara were revealed, i.e., "And never, O Muhammad, pray for any one of them that dies, and died in a state of rebellion." 9.84. Later I was astonished at my daring to speak like that to Allah's apostle, and Allah and his apostle know best. Volume 6, Book 60, number 194. Narrated by Ibn Umar. When Abdullah bin Ubay died, his son, Abdullah bin Abdullah, came to Allah's apostle, who gave his shirt to him and ordered him to shroud his father in it. Then he stood up to offer the funeral prayer for the deceased. But Umar bin al-Khattab took hold of his garment and said, "Do you offer the funeral prayer for him, though he was a hypocrite, and Allah has forbidden you to ask forgiveness for hypocrites?" The Prophet said, "Allah has given me the choice, or Allah has informed me, saying, whether you, O Muhammad, ask forgiveness for them, or do not ask forgiveness for them. Even if you ask forgiveness for them 70 times, Allah will not forgive them." 9.80. For he added, "I will appeal to Allah for his sake more than 70 times." So Allah's apostle offered the funeral prayer for him. And we too offered the prayer along with him. Then Allah revealed, "And never, O Muhammad, pray funeral prayer for any one of them that dies, nor stand at his grave. Certainly they disbelieved in Allah and his apostle and died in a state of rebellion." 9.84. Volume 6, Book 60, number 195. Narrated by Abdullah bin Kabi. I heard Kabi bin Malik at the time he remained behind and did not join the Battle of Tabuk, saying, "By Allah, no blessing has Allah bestowed upon me, besides my guidance to Islam, better than that of helping me speak the truth to Allah's apostle, otherwise I would have told the Prophet a lie and would have been ruined like those who had told a lie when the divine inspiration was revealed. They will swear by Allah to you, Muslims, when you return to them, the rebellious people." 9.9596. Volume 6, Book 60, number 196. Narrated by Samurah bin Jundub. Allah's apostle said, "Tonight 2 visitors came to me in my dream, and took me to a town built with gold bricks and silver bricks. There we met men who, half of their bodies, look like the most handsome human beings you have ever seen, and the other half, the ugliest human beings you have ever seen. Those 2 visitors said to those men, 'Go and dip yourselves in that river.' So they dipped themselves therein and then came to us, their ugliness having disappeared, and they were in the most handsome shape. The visitors said, 'The first is the Garden of Eden, and that is your dwelling place.' Then they added, 'As for those people who were half ugly and half handsome, they were those who mixed good deeds and bad deeds, but Allah forgave them.' Volume 6, Book 60, number 197. Narrated by Al-Musayyab. When Abu Talib's death approached, the Prophet went to him while Abu Jahl and Abdullah bin Abi Umayyah were present with him. The Prophet said, "O uncle, say, none has the right to be worshipped except Allah, so that I may argue for your case with it before Allah." On that, Abu Jahl and Abdullah bin Abu Umayyah said, "O Abu Talib, do you want to renounce Abdul Muttalib's religion?" Then the Prophet said, "I will keep on asking Allah for forgiveness for you unless I am forbidden to do so." Then there was revealed, "It is not fitting for the Prophet and those who believe that they should invoke Allah for forgiveness for pagans even though they be of kin, after it has become clear to them that they are companions of the fire." 9.113. Volume 6, Book 60, number 198. Narrated by Abdullah bin Kabi. I heard Kabi bin Malik talking about the verse, and to the three, he also forgave, who remained behind. 9.118, saying in the last portion of his talk, I said, as a sign of my repentance, I would like to give up all my property in the cause of Allah and His Apostle. The Prophet said to me, keep some of your wealth as it is good for you. To the three, he also forgave, who remained behind till for them the earth, vast as it is, was straightened. 9.118. Volume 6, Book 60, number 199. Narrated by Abdullah bin Kab. I heard Kabi bin Malik, who was one of the three who were forgiven, saying that he had never remained behind Allah's Apostle in any Ghazwa which he had fought except two Ghazwat al-Usra, Tabuk, and Ghazwat Badr. He added, I decided to tell the truth to Allah's Apostle in the forenoon, and scarcely did he return from a journey he made, except in the forenoon, he would go first to the mosque and offer a 2-rak'at prayer. The Prophet forbade others to speak to me or to my two companions, but he did not prohibit speaking to any of those who had remained behind excepting us. So the people avoided speaking to us, and I stayed in that state till I could no longer bear it, and the only thing that worried me was that I might die and the Prophet would not offer the funeral prayer for me, or Allah's Apostle might die, and I would be left in that social status among the people that nobody would speak to me or offer the funeral prayer for me. But Allah revealed His forgiveness for us to the Prophet in the last third of the night, while Allah's Apostle was with Salama. Salama sympathized with me and helped me in my disaster. Allah's Apostle said, O Salama, Kabi has been forgiven. She said, shall I send someone to him to give him the good tidings? He said, if you did so, the people would not let you sleep the rest of the night. So when the Prophet had offered the Fajr prayer, he announced Allah's forgiveness for us. His face used to look as bright as a piece of the full moon whenever he was pleased. When Allah revealed His forgiveness for us, we were the three whose case had been deferred, while the excuse presented by those who had apologized had been accepted. But when there were mentioned those who had told the Prophet lies and remained behind the Battle of Tabuk, and had given false excuses, they were described with the worst description one may be described with. Allah said, they will present their excuses to you, Muslims, when you return to them. Say, present no excuses. We shall not believe you. Allah has already informed us of the true state of matters concerning you. Allah and His Apostle will observe your actions. 9.94.